Tampa Bay is like no place else.
Wait, you can't recycle the bag? You have to throw it away.
Proper recycling keeps it that way for everyone. Bags tangle in machinery and can bring sorting efforts to a halt.
No bags.
Trash the bags and keep our recycling program moving forward.
No, Mom, look, no plastic bags.
Do your part to keep our recycling bag-free. Trash the tanglers or return them to participating retailers. For more information, visit tampabayrecycles.org.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your day. Fight the bite by removing standing water on your property. Standing water of any kind is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Do your part and help reduce the mosquito population.
Visit hcfl.gov/fightthebite.
These are the jobs you may not see every day, but just know we're working hard to make Hillsborough County a better place to live, work, and play. Subscribe to our YouTube page for more great county-related videos, only on HTV.
Flossing in the morning is a really great way to keep your teeth healthy and start the day. But when you're through, here's what you do. Throw it in the trash, don't flush it. There's a problem lots of people don't know, called sanitary sewer overflow. A condition buried deep in the ground, inside a pipe where bad clouds are found. It's a problem we can all help solve, so throw it in the trash, don't flush it. Baby wipes, bandages, cotton pads, paper towels, dental floss, clog up bad. Medicines, kitty litter, cotton swabs, hair. Throw them in the trash, don't flush it. It just takes a second to do the right thing, so toss it and let's keep our pipes clean. Throw it in the trash, don't flush it. If it's not toilet paper, don't flush it. Even if it says you can, don't flush it. If you're having any doubts, don't flush it. One more time, don't flush it.
Welcome to a meeting of your Planning Commission, the official local planning agency for the cities of Tampa, Temple Terrace, Plant City, and unincorporated Hillsborough County. The Planning Commission provides innovative leadership and long-range vision that contributes to the creation of a thriving, prosperous community that offers opportunity, fairness, and choice in how we live, move, learn, work, and play. For more information about the Planning Commission, please call 813-272-5940. Follow us on social media or visit our website at planhillsborough.org.
Welcome to the December 9th, 2024 public hearing of the Planning Commission on City of Plant City Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. For those attending in person and wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. To minimize feedback in the audio, all online participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should unmute themselves to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for the local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. And then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. To all participants, please note that tonight's hearing concerns proposed changes to the comprehensive plan. Presentations should not include matters related to zoning applications and site plans that are not before the commission. Zoning conditions are not relevant to plan amendments and may not be considered by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission's purview in making a recommendation is limited to consistency or inconsistency with the comprehensive plan. And with that, I'd like to ask the clerk to please call roll.
Good evening. Bowden.
Here.
Buzza.
Here.
Cardenas.
Here.
Kona.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Kress. Lauk.
Here.
Soraya.
Here.
Sieben. Orton. Rodriguez.
Here.
And Chair Joseph.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Our first and only agenda item is action item 2A, PC CPA 2408, Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, Update to Land Use Map Number 4, Future Land Use Scenario Map of the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. And the presenter is Krista Kelly.
Good evening, Krista Kelly, Planning Commission staff. This evening, I'm presenting to you Plant City Plan Amendment CPA 2408. This is an update to the Land Use Map Number 4, titled Future Land Use Scenario Map of the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. This is a publicly initiated text amendment to the Plant City Comprehensive Plan. The amendment is intended to bring the scenario map up to date with existing conditions, improve the accuracy of information shown on the map, and to refresh the usefulness of the scenario map by responding to emerging community emerging community issues, such as shifting market demands, particularly as it relates to expanding opportunities for industrial and commercial development in the northeast quadrant of Plant City. The map title is also proposed to be changed. Currently, the map is referenced by a variety of titles. The proposed change is intended to limit the reference to the Northeast Master Plan Preferred Land Use Scenario Map, which is how it is predominantly referred to in the comprehensive plan. To begin with, I'd like to describe the context and origin of the map, the preferred land use scenario map. Map 4 is the preferred land use scenario map, developed in conjunction with the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. It visually represents the desired form and future growth and development envisioned by the master plan for the Northeast quadrant of Plant City. The map is intended to encourage development patterns that can accommodate future growth seamlessly and to promote orderly annexations in the Northeast quadrant. Map 4 is adopted in the future land use element map series of the comprehensive plan, along with supporting policies that provide growth and development guidelines tailored to the master plan. So why are we updating this map now? The land use scenario map was adopted and it has remained unchanged since 2008, and the land use patterns have increasingly been viewed as outdated. It was recognized that many changes have occurred over the years and need to be reflected on the map. These changes include annexations, plan amendments, and changes in market demand that were not anticipated or accommodated for. The Planning Commission was requested to assist in updating the future land use scenario map to ensure the continued effectiveness of the map as a planning tool and reference point for the Northeast Master Plan. Here you see the general location map showing the preferred land use scenario map boundaries, which cover approximately 20 square miles of land, including land inside and outside of the Plant City city limits. The boundary of the scenario map extends to Half Mile Road and Knights Griffin Road to the north, US 92 to the south, and also I-4 to the south, the Polk County boundary and County Line Road to the east, and Alexander Street and Paul Buckman Highway to the west. First, I will give you an overview of the planning process for these updates. In early April 2023, Planning Commission staff began working with Plant City staff on the project to update the preferred land use scenario map. Staff began by reviewing the map for accuracy, identifying areas that were experiencing unanticipated growth and development pressures, and also identifying areas that were viewed as underutilized. The project was formally kicked off with the approval of a scope in June of this year. Of that year, of 2023, sorry. A technical working group was convened and assembled in July of 2023. This group included city, county, and planning commission staff, developers, land use consultants, business owners, and community members. The group met a series of times, and in February of 2024, reached a consensus on a final draft for the updated map. The final map was presented to the community at an open house on February 29th of this year. The open house was well attended with over 100 attendees, and additional feedback and recommendations were received and incorporated into the final map. The Plant City Commission held a workshop in August to review the proposed scenario map. At the conclusion of the workshop, the City Commission voted unanimously to direct staff to proceed to the plan amendment process to adopt the updated preferred land use scenario map. The map is now the subject of this plan amendment, PC CPA 2408, submitted in the September cycle of the Plant City Amendment cycle. At this point, I'd like to give you a little more detail on how the scenario map was revised. Staff approached the project by focusing on two objectives. The first objective is to review the map for administrative updates. Revisions centered or focused on recognizing changes over time resulting from the plan amendments and annexations. It also focused on improving the readability of the map. And again, regarding the title of the map, revising the title for internal consistency. The next objective was to implement strategic improvements. This focused on responding to unanticipated development and market demands, promoting economic development, and enhancing development opportunities with greater flexibility along major corridors. Now, briefly, I will list what was accomplished with the administrative updates. First, we incorporated the recommended North Alexander preferred land use scenario map, which was produced from a market study for Alexander Street in 2018. We updated and reflected the adopted plan amendments and annexations that have occurred since 2008, and also revised maps to match the Plant City future land use map. Where they diverged, we reconciled them with the future land use map. We recognized densities approved and built for the North Park Isles by designating the PD area residential 6. It was previously shown on the map as residential 4. We replaced the agricultural designation with residential future land use designations, consistent, again, with the Plant City's future land use map. We removed the recreation and open space designation from areas where it was used to buffer natural preservation areas, as it was not scientifically identified and unnecessary. We revised the land use boundaries to be definable by using parcel lines and physical features to delimit the designations. Next, we looked at strategic improvements, and probably the far-reaching improvement is the creation of a future economic opportunities overlay. The overlay is intended to allow for greater flexibility in changing land uses to allow for increased densities and intensities along economically important transportation corridors. As you see on the map, the overlay is shown in the shaded area running on, this is Paul Buckman, Alexander Street, I-4, US 92. In addition to the creation of the overlay, 5 areas were targeted along those corridors for changes. I have to pull out my little chart here. The first change was the targeted area on the north west portion of the map is at Paul Buckman Highway and Knights Griffin Road. This is the intersection of 2 major arterials, and both roads are also truck routes. The change was to replace the residential designations in the area to industrial. The intent was to respond to the development pressures and market demands for logistical type facilities that benefit from this type of location. And now at the intersection of Sam Allen and Paul Buckman Highway, this is an intersection of a county collector and an arterial roadway. Again, Paul Buckman is an arterial roadway. This is the expansion of commercial land use designations in this area. The purpose of this change is to maximize the commercial potential at this location, which is in proximity to, again, the major truck route in Paul Buckman Highway and I-4. The next change is at North Park Road between I-4 and Sam Allen Road. This is the expansion of commercial, again, in this area. This change was intended to accommodate the demand for more intense development in proximity to the new South Florida Baptist Hospital in the area. The fourth targeted area is Charlie Taylor Road and Swindell Road. That's right down here. And this is to increase the density, I'm sorry, it's up here. This is to increase the density from residential 6 to residential 12, and also the purpose of this is to maximize the development the development potential and proximity to the intention is to increase the densities in this area to support an activity center that is envisioned at the intersection of Midway and Charlie Taylor Road. The final change is at Charlie Taylor and Swindle Road. So this is the increase of density from residential 6 to residential 12 and the expansion of the economic overlay. This is intended to maximize the development potential and proximity to I-4 and to the south, and I mean to the north, the envisioned activity center. This is a table showing the impacts of the change in listing each of the land use categories, how many acres we started with, and what the change was. On the right-hand side, I summarized those changes. Basically, the major increase is for lands encompassed by the economic opportunity overlay. This allows for greater development potential, a variety of either residential or non-residential uses. The total is 3,462 acres. Also increased, industrial land use designations were increased by 995 acres. 581 acres of commercial were increased. 46 acres of public, semi-public lands were increased. And 1,873 acres of rural residential 2, agricultural rural residential 2 were increased. And lastly, combined 441 acres of urban residential categories were increased. Agricultural lands were decreased by 1,710 acres, and natural preservation and recreation designated areas were reduced by 1,343 acres. Staff reviewed the plan amendment for consistency with the comprehensive plan and found it consistent with the following policies: 2.6.1, 2.6.2, and 2.7.3. These policies support conducting vision-type plans and special area studies to ensure that the plans are effective. In updating this plan, we have accomplished those policy objectives. Land use policy 2.6.3, 2.6.4, and 2.7.3 support this amendment to update the preferred land use scenario map by coordinating growth and development in the northeast quadrant with the provision of infrastructure and transportation facilities. And lastly, the proposed change is consistent because it ensures that targeted industries are compatible with the concepts of the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. This concludes my presentation, the Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed text amendment be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Plant City Comprehensive Plan. And this does conclude my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you very much. This was publicly initiated, right? Yeah, by the City Council.
The City of Plant City is here. I don't know if they wanted to make any comments under the staff presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. Robin Baker, Director of Planning and Zoning for the City of Plant City. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the process. We have been working with Krista and Yanika from the very beginning, and it's been quite the pleasure working with them. And we've all learned some lessons along the way, but we're very happy with the product that has come out. Our commission seemed happy with the map that was being proposed as well. But I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we had one person sign up for the public comment on this one. So we will go to Susan Swift.
Thank you very much. My name is Susan Swift. I'm a Director of Planning for BBE Boggs Engineering in Plant City, and I'm here representing the owners of the Intract site, which is on North Alexander Street and north of I-4 and south of Sam Allen in that segment of roadway. And I'm here to compliment your staff and the city staff on this plan. We're in support of it, and we think the economic opportunity overlay is a very good way to handle things in the future for this area. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so I guess a rebuttal. Is there any rebuttal response from staff? You good? No? Okay. Let's turn it over to the commissioners for comments, questions, discussion.
I did want to just mention one thing to make sure it was very clear for the record, that the map it looks a lot like the future land use map, but it's not the future land use map. It's a map that then is a tool to guide amendments as people annex into Plant City. And I just wanted to make sure that was clear, because when you look at it, it looks like the future land use map.
Okay. All right. Any comments, questions, discussions from the commissioners on this one? I am not seeing a lot of motions, so I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment on this item and open it up to motions from the commissioners. Commissioner Buzza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to move that we find PCCPA 24-08 consistent with the Plant City Comprehensive Plan and forward on to the Plant City Commission.
Second.
All right, we have a motion of consistency found by Commissioner Buzza, second by Commissioner Kona. Okay. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions from the commissioners before we go ahead and take our vote? Seeing none, then would all signify their agreement by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries unanimously. All right, that was our only agenda item for the City of Plant City public hearing, so I will adjourn City of Plant City public hearing at 5:52, and I will read us into our next public hearing for the City of Tampa. So welcome everybody to the December 9th, 2024 public hearing of the Planning Commission on City of Tampa Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. For those attending in person and wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. To minimize feedback in the audio, all online participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should unmute themselves to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for the local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion of what will be taken. To all participants, please note that tonight's hearing concerns proposed changes to the comprehensive plan. Presentation should not include matters related to zoning applications and site plans that are not before the commission. Zoning conditions are not relevant to plan amendments and may not be considered by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission's purview in making a recommendation is limited to consistency or inconsistency with the comprehensive plan. And with that, I'd like to ask the clerk to please go ahead and call roll.
Bowden.
Here.
Buzza.
Here.
Cardenas.
Here.
Kona.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Kress. Lauk.
Here.
Soraya.
Here.
Sieben. Orton. Rodriguez.
Here.
And Chair Joseph.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
All right, thank you. Before we get rolling on this, I just wanted to announce, because it's on the paper in front of me, that item 2C, action item 2C has been withdrawn. That's TACPA 24-13 Comprehensive Plan Map Amendment 5019 and 5021 East 17th Avenue. It has been withdrawn, so we won't be taking action on that tonight. All right, that announcement made, we will start with action item 2A, TACPA 24-05 Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, Housing Section Update. And the presenter is Erica Larson.
Good evening, Erica Larson, Planning Commission staff. Tonight I will be presenting TACPA 24-05, which is the housing section update. As a refresher, you were briefed on this item back in July. This represents the overall major update to the housing section of the Tampa Comprehensive Plan. This is an action item, and a resolution is provided for your vote. This was a multi-month process where Planning Commission staff reviewed, refined, and developed the proposed housing section language. This draft was reviewed with city staff and stakeholders. Outreach efforts included input from housing organizations such as the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. The updated housing section is designed as a tool to support community housing needs and implementation of city programs. The housing section of the plan is located in the portion labeled Places in the City of Tampa Comprehensive Plan. As we presented in the briefing, we updated the structure to modernize housing-related language and provide a framework for housing-related initiatives. Although the topics are the same, some of the policy language has changed, which I will go over in the next slide. New language is proposed to most topic areas. Some of the notable topic areas include gentrification and access, home ownership and zoning regulations, incentives and environmentally friendly practices, public health and safety. A specific example includes Housing Policy 1.1.6, which explores options for proactive public and private initiatives, land investment initiatives such as land banking and establishing community land trusts to build and preserve long-term affordable housing and minimize displacement. This slide shows the revisions since you were briefed on this in July. There's a memo in your packet that goes over these revisions. We heard good feedback from you and the community, and here are the changes that we've made since then. We've included clarifying language on land use changes and their impacts on overall health and well-being. Updated language on coordination with the Tampa Housing Authority to enhance the collaboration process. Gentrification mitigation strategies to help explain what they are. Existing language on accessory dwelling units was moved from the FLU section into the housing section. Retained language on congregate living facilities, which were previously planned to move to the FLU, however, are now staying in the housing section. Clarified policy language and or meaning, and lastly, renumbered the policies accordingly. In addition to the policy language revisions, we've added definitions to be adopted to explain new housing concepts and previously undefined terms. Engaging with the community and stakeholders has been a key part of this process. In April 2024, we launched our formal announcements and public outreach, including the Housing Section Update website. Since then, we have led outreach campaigns using emails, social media, and in-person events. Then in August 2024, we held 2 public stakeholder meetings, both virtual and in-person, to gather feedback. Over 80 people attended these meetings. We've received various public comments focusing on reducing parking minimums, enhanced collaboration with the Tampa Housing Authority, and utilizing community centers for shelters. From agencies, the preliminary and formal comment review yield no objections, demonstrating broad support for this update. The proposed updates have been thoroughly reviewed for consistency with the adopted housing section and overarching goals of the Tampa Comprehensive Plan. The revisions align with multiple objectives and policies, ensuring a cohesive strategy to meet Tampa's housing needs. Based on our review and outreach, staff recommends the Planning Commission find TACPA 24-05 consistent with the Tampa Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council for approval. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions or comments you may have. Katrina Corcoran was also lead on this project and is here as well. Together, we can ensure Tampa's housing policies meet the needs of our community both now and in the future. Thank you, and that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, we had a couple people sign up for public comment on this one. First, I will start with the online single individual. Is Eric Garduno on the line?
Yes, right here.
Yes, please, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. Well, my name is Eric Garduno. I'm the Government Affairs Director for the Bay Area Apartment Association. Thank you for this opportunity to speak before the Planning Commission. I'm providing some feedback and comments from our association on the proposed changes to the comprehensive plan. First, goes up saying the Planning Commission has done outstanding work. The Commission staff have been very dedicated to this effort. We appreciate the opportunities to provide comments and feedback and engagement in the community. So it is not an easy task. So first and foremost, thanks to the staff for all their work. Let me start off with a number of our sort of positive, what we see as positive additions to the draft before you. First is in support of affordable housing. We know HSG 1.13, which supports streamlining the permitting and application process for affordable housing, and HSG 1.34, which supports locating affordable housing near transit to take advantage of potential transit cost savings. We're thrilled with HSG 1.4.9, which supports adaptive reuse. This is actually an area where apartment developers are looking more closely at, and would draw your attention to a report regarding adaptive reuse on Build Florida 2030 website. We were also glad to see that HSG 1.4.7 calls for refining zoning regulations, such as parking requirements and setbacks, to reduce the cost of development. Though I think we would love to have seen it applied across the board, not just for small-scale development. That said, with all these really great, there's a lot of great additions here. There's one thing that does give us some pause and a little bit of concern, and that is HSG 1.18, which calls for exploring a new linkage fee. We know that the provision limits exploration of such a fee to new non-residential development. However, we also know that other parts of the comprehensive plan strongly encourage mixed-use development, where residential and commercial development are co-located on the same site. If linkage fees are applied to such development, you may inadvertently see increases in the cost to produce housing that were never intended. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you again for the opportunity to provide these comments, and I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Next up, we will go to our in-person people. That's all we had for online. We will start off with Mrs. Pointer.
Good evening, Stephanie Pointer. This is sweet. I'm good with most of it, almost all of it, except for HSG policy 1.3.1. It says support housing in all Tampa residents and safe and free from environmental and health hazards. I would argue that evacuation zone A is an environmental and a health hazard for folks in affordable housing. How many of you guys have been to a shelter? Because people who are in affordable housing are going to have to go to shelters. Very rarely can they afford to go and get a hotel room when they have to evacuate. HSG 1.5.4, it says encourage distribution of affordable housing units throughout the city. Once again, we are putting our poorest folks in evacuation zone A, evacuation zone B, call it the coastal high hazard, call it whatever you want. But it's my understanding that the county does not allow it for affordable housing either in either the CHHA or the evacuation zones. I don't remember which. It's been a while since somebody told me that. But what I don't understand, and not that it has to do with the amount of folks there, it's about doing what's best for the families. We had people south of Gandy, we had apartment complexes. Last year, they didn't do it this year, but last year we had apartment complexes that turned off the electricity in the affordable housing units. Okay, so even the people who had evacuated came home to refrigerators full of spoiled food. Those are the folks who need it the most and have the least ability to recover from it, and we need to take that into consideration when we're looking at housing for the folks who need it the most. Other than that, I really enjoy this. There is one other thing, HSG policy 1.3.8. If we're going to reduce parking requirements, I think they should have micro mobility on site. I think that's a great alternative for folks who cannot afford a car, and having the micro mobility within reach is something that's very, very vital, because we do not have a bus system. We do not have public transit, and we can talk about it till our head pops off because it's all in here, but we don't have it. So if developers were putting it on site, it would certainly be more useful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up we have C.A. Bennett.
Hi, my name is Carol Ann Bennett. Basically, agree with what Stephanie said, and just want to reiterate the fact that putting the people with the least amount of resources in the most vulnerable area, evacuation zone A is being evacuated every year, sometimes multiple times a year. It's very, very stressful. It's very expensive. If you go to a shelter, especially if you need transportation to get there, you're going to be there for days. If you have a job, you're not going to be able to go to work, which means you're not going to get paid. You get 20 square feet. That is the exact size of a twin-size mattress. It is a necessary resource, and we have to have it, but it is last resort only. So I think that we should be encouraging particularly affordable housing, but all development in areas where people can shelter in place. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That is all we had for the public comment on this item, so I will give it back to staff for a rebuttal response.
For one of the policies, policy 1.5.4, the goal of this policy is to prevent concentrations of poverty, and this is a Florida statute requirement, which states that the avoidance of concentration of affordable housing only in specific areas. So that's what that policy is speaking to.
Katrina Corcoran, Planning Commission staff. Erica addressed that is for the comments on 1.3.1 and 1.5.4. Another comment related to 1.3.8 on reducing parking and considering micromobility. I would say that is covered within our mobility section. We do have policies on micromobility and exploring emerging technologies. And then for policy 1.1.8, which Mr. Gardino mentioned, which is on the linkage fee, I would also mention that this policy is purposefully worded to explore the potential for a citywide housing fee, but that's something that would be specified more specifically with the city. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, with that, I will turn it over to our commissioners for questions, discussions, comments on this item. I am not seeing a lot of motion here. Commissioner Lowe?
I didn't want to go. Didn't want to go first. Can we speak a little bit further into HSG policy 1.5.9? We talked about it in our meeting regarding stabilization programs that help people stay in their homes through services such as housing counseling for foreclosure and eviction prevention, and how that would look when it's applied.
And this was 1.5.9, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So this policy is meant more for implementation by the city, but to encourage through the plan the exploration of opportunities for city-owned properties to be converted into emergency housing. So it's really more of an exploratory, broader policy for the comprehensive plan that would ultimately be implemented by the city.
So City Council would give you the detail that you're looking for. The Tampa City Council would be where to go for the detail that you're looking for, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm going to bottle up any follow-up.
All right, Commissioner Cardenas.
Yeah, I guess some of the comments that they brought up are about the coastal high hazard area and affordable housing in those areas. Can you address some of the...
If you want, I can. I don't think the policies that are in any way in this element meant to direct affordable housing into the coastal hazard area. They're talking about making sure it's distributed evenly across the city. There would be other mechanisms that would be directly encouraging affordable housing, like the density bonus that we're proposing, that's going to go in the future land use element. You'll see that in a couple months. And that we're not proposing should be for the density bonus for affordable housing should not be allowed in the coastal high hazard area for some of the reasons that the members of the public mentioned, that there's an additional cost to evacuating and things of that nature. To my knowledge, and I'm having trouble searching the entirety of the county's comp plan at the moment, but I don't recall anything in the county's plan that specifically prohibits affordable housing in the coastal hazard area. Mr. College might know. Okay. Okay. But they similarly do not allow density bonuses in the coastal high hazard area, and that is their primary means of incentivizing affordable housing in the unincorporated county. So I think we're being consistent amongst the two jurisdictions in that regard.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments from the commissioners on this one? Not seeing any, then I will go ahead and close the public comment on this one and open it up to motions from the commissioners on this one. Anybody? Commissioner Fernandez.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the housing section update.
All right. We got a motion.
I'll second.
Motion of approval or consistency. I'm not sure whichever it is. And a second by Commissioner Buzza. Are there any comments or questions from the commissioners before we take our vote on this one? All right. Then we'll all signify their agreement by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
All right. We got one opposed, Commissioner Lauk, and the rest are approving. So 1 to 9. Wow, we're all here. Yeah, 1 to 9. Motion carries. All right. Next item, 2B, TACPA 24-06, Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, Coastal Management Section Update, and the presenter is Sean College.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Sean College with your Planning Commission staff. This is a public hearing on the Tampa Coastal Management Section Update, and there is a resolution in your packet for your consideration this evening. Quickly, this was also briefed to you in August, the same schedule as the housing elements or section that is. We have our approach that we took with this update is to address the current science and data on coastal issues, create the foundational framework for the city to address these issues further in their code and development handbooks. It was reviewed by city staff and stakeholders. Outreach included environmental organizations, including Sierra Club, and it serves as a tool to support city programs and objectives. You saw this at your briefing. This is the updated structure. We found a way to do this structure that seemed to make more sense and flow better and be a better way to organize the element. I think it'll be more user-friendly. These were the changes we also briefed you on in August. The no net increase in residential density, that's something, a provision that everyone's very interested in. That is not part of the coastal management section tonight. You'll be seeing that later in the future land use section that will come in a few months, come back to you. Policies on public expenditures in the coastal high hazard area were moved to the capital improvement section. There's an increased focus on resiliency and climate change and sea level rise in this updated section. There's a focus and encouragement on freeboard consideration to reduce flooding and other mitigation measures. We also streamlined the policy text, removed duplicate and obsolete policies to make it smaller and more concise and, again, more user-friendly for everyone. This is a new slide for you. These are the revisions since your briefing. We had great input from the planning commissioners and the public and different stakeholders. We made a number of great improvements to this section since your briefing. We updated the policy that talks about limiting public expenditures. We want to make sure that's clear, that public expenditures in the coastal area is allowed for existing and planned population. So that was added to that policy, as well as we made it clear that stormwater facilities can be funded and expenditures are allowed for stormwater facilities in the coastal area, because that was a question. We also removed the specific residence to a freeboard target. Decided that was probably not appropriate for the comp plan. It needs to be left for the code. But freeboard is still an important mitigation measure, and that's still emphasized in policy generally. We removed a couple of different vague statements in different policies about inappropriate manner, which was not defined, as well as the word serious in a policy. So we clarified that vagueness and got rid of some of the vagueness. And another policy was modified that talks about the evacuation standard. We clarified that policy to make sure everyone knows that is a countywide standard per Florida statute. And this is Tampa's comprehensive plan, and Tampa's only responsible for what they can accomplish in their jurisdiction. And there were several other policies that were amended and improved for wording and clarification. Same stakeholder and public outreach we had for the housing section. We did it unparalleled, so you had all the same meetings, and it was a very extensive outreach program we did. Sierra Club was one of the partners in this. They're a great organization. We partnered with them. They reviewed it. They gave us a lot of good improvements, and some of that clarification language is direct results from some of the comments from Sierra Club, as well as industry. We had a number of industry members, housing developer type members, attorneys who commented, and it all served to improve some wording and take out some of the vagueness that were in some of the policies. Agency comment, yes, SwiftMud commented. They had a policy that needed a clarification. We were happy to do it. It would improve the policy. EPC had a few policies that they recommended changes, and we did make the changes to their satisfaction, and it worked better for the policy, so we were happy to do that. And there were no objections received from any of the agencies with these changes. Consistency review, we reviewed it for consistency with the totality of the comprehensive plan, particularly the coastal management element we have now. Coastal management goal 1, objective 1.8, policy 1.84, as well as objective 1.3 and policy 1.37 are some of the key policies that show consistency going forward. With that, we would recommend you find this comprehensive plan amendment consistent with the Tampa comprehensive plan, issue the resolution in your packet and forward to the City Council for further consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We had a couple people sign up for this one, and we will start off with Ms. Pointer again.
Hi, Stephanie Pointer. Overall, we're very, very happy with this section. We see a lot of positive changes, a lot of concise language. I'd like to point out that the City of Tampa wrote a $500,000 grant to study south of Gandy and Palmetto Beach, and they're just about done with this beautiful piece of work, which I've read through and love very much. One of the things that's absent, and I'm sure there's a reason for it, but there's no discussion of the FEMA requirements or the FEMA recommendations for building in the coastal high hazard area, because they have different regulations and actually would be, if they were put in place, they would protect our communities much, much more than what we have in the building standards now. But I actually went through this week and looked at it, and I have some upcoming rezonings and whatnot, and I'm very excited to see these changes, but I need them now. So that's really my only, the economy of words is much, much better, and thank you.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Bennett?
My name is Caroline Bennett, and again, I agree with everything that Stephanie said. I spoke with land use attorneys at some of these meetings. I've spoken with lots of residents and different organizations, and I think they gave a lot of good input. And what you have before you is definitely, I think, a much better project as a result of the input, and I encourage you to pass it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And we have a Nancy Stevens, maybe?
Hi, good afternoon. Nancy Stevens, Tampa Bay Sierra Club Conservation Committee Chair, and yes, we do support these changes. It's a good product that helps balance our resiliency and make Tampa just a more resilient place in the future. And I just also want to commend the staff on their open process and all the hearings they had and their outreach to solicit feedback and accept the feedback and include it in the document. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That was all we had on the public comment for this one. So I will turn it over to the commissioners for questions, discussions on this one. Commissioner Seaman.
I just want to say thank you to Sean for being so receptive and willing to work with us. And and willing to answer questions, and I think he was really helpful throughout this process.
Sean's a good guy. All right. Are there any other comments, questions, kudos from the planning commissioners for staff? Any? All right. I'm not seeing any. Then I will go on ahead and close the public comment on this one and open it up to motions from the commissioners. Commissioner Surya, I see you moving.
I'd like to forward a motion that we approve TA CPA 24-06.
All right. We have a motion of consistency finding. Commissioner Lauk?
Second.
All right. A second to that motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Lauk. Are there any questions from the commissioners before we take our vote? Seeing none, that would all signify their agreement by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our action items agenda. And so at 6:21, this meeting is adjourned. Good night, everyone.